Hello, lovely people. I'm Sinead, and welcome. Today I'm working in the clay. I've got some orders to fill, and I also am trying to make a cat for a virtual doll convention. I don't even know what actually is going on. There was just a request that the crafters make cats, Sybil specifically, Elwyn's cat, our interpretation. So yeah, I decided to make it out of redware. I'm very last minute-ish on this. In fact, way too last minute-ish. It should have been done a week ago or more. And I just was suffering from the lack of direction. I didn't know how I wanted to craft it. That's the problem with being a multi-cross crafter, is that you don't necessarily always feel inspired to do your usual craft. You just kind of... So now I'm putting way too much time into a log that a bird will sit on. I'm supposed to be making a bunch of logs to put birds on. And I feel like I'm getting a little too into the details, a little too obsessed with making them just so. And I should just move on, get on with it. But I have seagulls and corvids to make today. And hey, I got new glasses. These are actually glasses for computer work and for the recording, because it makes it to where I can see the screen and tell, whether or not it's actually recording when it says it is. The crazy things that you have to have glasses, and I was not into that whole, looking at you like through the bifocals. I hate that. I absolutely I hate doing that tilt of the head and recording and trying to see, and it never gives a big wide enough field of vision anyway. So yeah, it's a pet peeve. I hate wearing glasses. I thought when I was a kid that I wanted to wear glasses, and then I ended up with glasses in high school, and from then on it's been, this sucks. I should have gotten obsessed with sunglasses or something. I don't know, because these glass thing, wearing them on all the time, I don't like it. So if you like your glasses, good. I'm good for you. It's probably smart. So I'm just trying to pull off just enough clay to work with it and not have the whole clump out and drying out. And putting it away under the plastic. Like I said, probably should be doing less detail on my little logs. This, in fact, this batch of logs is different than I have been doing them. I don't know. Maybe it's much like the birds. I made some mugs last week or the week before, I can't remember, and they just got fired, and both Joey and Arthur are looking at them and going, those are ridiculous. Because these seagulls, of course, I've done all of the seagulls with their necks extended so that you can tell that it's a curious seagull. Seagulls will look exactly in profile like a raven or a crow, because they just don't, they're not that different in the shape of their beak and the shape of their body if they've got their head down. But when they extend out their neck, it's a different bird. And that's what we who here in the Pacific Northwest, at least, that's how we identify them as seagulls, I guess, in silhouette. When you're doing things that are not necessarily really distinct, such as these clay figures, they will get glaze on them. That we've started glazing the little figures more, so they will get more glaze on them. that identifies them. So we're doing the corvids in black and in purple, both. And we're doing, we found a white that shows up. So we put a bit of white on the seagulls and just kind of leave it thin on their beak so that the redware shows through more. And we, what else did we bother with putting gray in that white? I don't think we do. I think it's just, we leave it white. But, the way that the glaze kind of runs, you get thin spots, and that can look like your variation. Anyway, it comes off looking like a seagull, which is the important part. And I'm going to switch tools here. And I experimented with doing seagulls on legs, where I stuck a couple pieces of wire into the, those look like awfully short logs. I think that's too short. Yep, that's not going to work. Put their little legs in the log, and yeah, I guess I didn't realize how much I was going to need to let that set up before putting them together the first time, and I was just like, the seagull, I put it on the legs, and it just went, pew. Now it's got 2 pieces of wire in it. Yay! So yeah, I figured out to wait, let it firm up a little bit before you install the seagull. And so I successfully put together like 5 standing on their legs seagulls, and the other thing was finding that balance, that the balance that the log and bird need when you put that separation in there. It's really much easier when the bird is making contact with the log to find that balance. But if you extend it up there on the wires, then it is not so easy to find that balance. And so as they dried, I noticed that some of them were leaning back, but they were still upright. And I was like, well, the one thing about it is that when they come out of firing, you can rearrange that wire. It still maintains its ability to be shaped. It's not like the clay that can't be moved. So you'll be able to move them around. And Joey was pointing out that in the process of firing them and everything, they're going to be messed up. Everything's going to get bent funny. So not to worry about it. So wish me luck on getting the cat done. I'm just really feeling like that doesn't have a lot of, that's really pushing the likelihood that I won't get it done. Just have not felt a lot of creative energy lately. It's not like, maybe it's just focused in a different area. But yeah, when faced with a request, the energy just doesn't seem to be there the same. I don't know. There's a definitely a lack of energy. And sometimes it means that I just can't think of a direction to go on something. I realized that this week I was going into the week without a project. I had made it through last week. I had a project in mind and I executed it. And this week I did not even have a clue. So I decided that bookshelves and I guess a pantry shelf, they're basically made the same. So I asked Arthur to get the wood cut for that so that we can do that and get him to cut me apart some more, either 2x6s or 2x4s, whatever it takes to get the right dimensions out of whatever he's got out there. I like the bottom being flat on these logs, less roll, and lately I haven't been I haven't been very good about that. Funny, the things as it dries, it tends to move anyway. So I guess trying to get it flat is not, maybe pointless. I don't know. We're gonna try it anyway this time around. Each group is a little different than the last group. Still have more to go. Let's see. There is 10 there. And I need 16. I need 6 more. Yeah, that looks about right. And rolling wormies is not my strong point. Need to get better at it. Oh, Joey put me on throwing. Let's just say that it could have gone better, but not real surprising. And yes, that was dog hair. By the way, it doesn't matter if there's dog hair in this clay because it burns out. But doesn't mean I want to work with it. I had the wrong posture and it really set off pain in body parts. And I got into just trying to focus on learning the clay and how it acts on the wheel, how different it is, because it's completely different. And I had a hard time walking when I got up. It's much like getting down on the floor because apparently leaning forward with for any amount of time hits nerve clusters that make my legs go to sleep. And so I have not done enough leaning forward to get used to that and to, I don't know, get the body to change and allow that. I don't know, can you lean forward for any amount of time? And I don't know how normal or not normal it is. It's something like sitting on the floor as a child with crossed legs was never something I could do well, and not something I was motivated to get better at. So when I get down on the floor to work with the dollhouse, I usually on my belly or I'll sit on like a Zafu cushion and get down there so that I'm sitting, but I still end up with some issues and will abandon it and just lay down on the floor if I can do what I need to do laying down. Anyway, always trying to work around it because, I've got these spaces that are down on the floor. My bed is down on the floor. The whole idea was to keep the mobility there, because the idea of not being able to get off the floor if you fall, that's awful. That's what those advertisements did help. I've fallen and I can't get up. So they made me go, ooh, I don't want to be on the floor and not able to get up. Yep. Advertising. Not creating the reaction you expected, but still creating a reaction. Made me very motivated to try and figure out a way to get this poor European body of mine more flexible. And not a lot of luck so far. I think I have like 0 focus for exercise routines. And so I'll do something for a while and then abandon it entirely. I've done weightlifting on and off. It's actually one I return to because it doesn't require a lot of me. except for something heavy to lift. And as long as I don't throw out the weights, I'm good. But like back in I can't even put a date on it. Pre-2010, I was obsessively lifting weights. And it got to where I could deadlift more than my own weight, which I thought that was fair as a line, for success at this. But then when I got married, I quit doing it. And I wish I hadn't quit. But then again, I'm at a lost focus anyway. Okay, I got my logs done, and now it's time to start putting birds on them. And much like the logs, is that enough? No. I just grab some clay, decide whether or not it's the right amount, and start sculpting the bird. I like to start with a more roundish figure, squeeze out a tail. Then move forward. And I find for me, since I do have that whole issue of getting bored with what I'm doing, if I've got 2 kinds of birds I need to make, I will work on every other bird will be the different type. So there'll be a seagull and then a corvid. And we don't define whether it's a crow or a raven, and I don't make them, well, they probably are more raven-ish sometimes. I don't know. There are definitely distinct differences in the corvids. There are markings, there are shapes, differences, their beaks are different, but when you're doing a tiny clay representation, those differences become less obvious. And you don't worry about it, and you let the person who is purchasing it decide what it is for them. And so you kind of want to make it as generally corvid-ish as you can. Let it speak for itself. It's been several hours, and I have gotten quite a few birds done. Still working on them, though. And I'm hoping to get back over here to the cat so that I can get it finished. I don't know. That whole insecurity over whether or not it's even going to work, because it's a different kind of construction. I've kept it hollow on the inside and made it with slab, and yeah, I'm a little concerned about it not working. And I'm not making a second one to like ensure that something comes out, only doing the one. So there's that risk too. Okay, I'm doing things a little different on these logs. Arthur came in and told me I needed to not have them flat, which I knew that, but you're doing things, and I'm thinking, oh, well, we can do this way, and you can't. Or it warps in the kiln and things go wrong. things go horribly wrong. And it won't stand up anymore. And he also told me I needed to do more. So we're going to probably have to do those tomorrow, some of them. I think I'm running low on energy. So the log has the curve down at the outside edges so that it's only got 2 points of contact. And then on this batch, I have been making sure that their tails function as a 3rd point of contact without making them look weird. Because, you know, like they're falling off the log. You don't want them looking like they're falling off the log. This guy is supposed to be a seagull, but I tell you what. Tip his head, maybe that'll help. He was kind of looking like a hybrid. I suppose I didn't show you that. Can you even make that out? We hadn't got too much light behind us. Because the light from the windows pretty intense. Anyway, I wanted to, let's see. I've got these logs here. I think I'm going to cover them in plastic and see about working on the cat. Oh, I just ran into a bird. Nicked his nose. That's one little nick that has to be worked out. So we have a nick in the ear because this is Sybil has an attitude and looks like they've been fighting. So we thought a nick in the ear would be good. I've also stuck this is a fired heart that actually has some paint on it. And it's kind of stuck on there to lift the center of this as it dries. And I'll remove it before it goes to be fired. But it's just to maintain the lift in the center. Because if you don't, it just wants to stick to this surface that I'm working on. Which, not great. So the air on the interior of this is what keeps it from collapsing. When I'm kind of pressing in on the clay, the body here, and it only maintains its integrity because of the air. So if I accidentally stick a hole in this, it won't have any integrity anymore. It'll just collapse on me. I want it to get a little bit drier, and then I'll stick, or get finished doing this. Actually, it doesn't have to be dry. I just have to finish attaching things to it, and then I can put a hole, because it has to have a hole before it goes to be fired. And it'll help it get dry on the interior as well. So, trying to decide if I want this cat's mouth open or not. Can always close it, I guess. Right now it looks like a gremlin, not a cat. Straight out of Gremlins. Catch me mouth breathing. I don't know, without teeth, it doesn't look, isn't presenting really, it's anything more than a gremlin. Maybe the ears will help with that. Maybe I should close the mouth back up. Let that sit for a minute. I'm going to put the tail on. Don't want to make it too long. I've also been kind of squeezing in at the sides to give it kind of a definition between the head and the tiny little body. And I don't know. Feels kind of weird. Then I kind of guess this is all a little bit weird. Also trying to think of ways to make this tail look more frazzled, more like it's fighter's tail. But I guess worry more about that when I'm doing the overall texture. Yep, we're gonna take that mouth back down. It's, like I said, it's just not feeling like a cat face. It's feeling like gremlins and not liking it. So I'm going to try again. Maybe I should put some eyes on here first to get a better idea. Nope. First mark. Didn't like it. I don't know. Yeah, we're having, the light is really bad. I can't see it. I'm hoping you can. Now all I have to do is make another one the same. Anybody else have to turn things over to get to the other side? Wow, I am just having a time there with dyslexia. Keep putting it on, the eyelashes on the wrong direction. Just totally wrong. Yeah. Nope. Hmm. I think it's a little bigger. Ooh. Wow, we're still really wet kind of feeling. Yeah. Does that help with the... Maybe? I think I'll move the camera here to let you see this. All right, see, much better with the light not behind us. We have the tail back there. Gonna give that nose a second try. It could be that I just don't do fighting cats, you know? I should be able to do a fighting cat that's always in trouble. Let's try a different shape here. Now, can you see SC standing right there? When I set him up for a photograph, I had to use a doll stand, prop him up. He was not going to stand for me. But I needed the doll stand for somebody else. And I picked him up, took the doll stand off of him, put him back down, standing. I just, for some reason, just stood him back up. He stayed. He's been that way for 3 days now, just standing on his own. Now that's an idea. What if we just make this a large nose, not a giant nose, but proportionate to the eyes, sort of. Yeah. It's all kind of comical anyway. Let's go, instead of trying to get the whole snout in there, let's just put a nose on. I think that's a better plan. Oh, now he looks like a bird. She. Sybil, I guess, is a she. Yep, we're definitely looking like a bird. See if we can make it look less like a bird. It's looking like a very odd animal. I think I've seen this before. I was trying to remember where I'd seen this kind of animal. Probably something trendy. And I just don't know the name of it. Maybe that'll do it. Maybe it needs to not stick out so much. That might be part of it. Well, I'm going to continue on, and I hope you have a delightful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.